Advanced template settings, these exist in 2.x, so I'm not going to go over them much. Basically, they allow you to add HTML before or after the calendar on the front end. And when I say before or after, I literally mean before will appear above the calendar here, after will appear down beneath the calendar here. Whatever HTML you want to add with the WYSIWYG here, go for it. It's totally up to you. Check out the default content tab now. Default content allows you to select pre-populated information that appears anytime somebody goes to create a new event or a new venue on your site. Take a look at how I've configured this. I do have it enabled. By checking this box, I'm saying, okay, use this, turn this setting on, and populate with the information I've set below, particularly the default organizer, Rob Legata, and the default venue, Larkspur Library. I'm going to go and create a new event right now, and you're going to see those are pre-populated when I go in to create the event. I don't have to worry about creating the venue or the organizer because it's taken care of for me. It's picking what the administrator chose under this settings panel. But I'm not stuck with this. If I decide, yeah, I'm creating an event and I know the administrator wants me to use Larkspur Library, I don't have to stick with that. I can go to the drop down here, hit use new venue, and I can add a new one as I see fit at any time. I could also pick an existing one from the drop down, whatever. Just know that your front-end users aren't stuck to these. So whatever you set here is not going to be the end-all and be-all because really people do have the option and the flexibility as they see fit, and we see that as a good thing. The address field is slightly different. This is what is pre-populated when somebody goes to set up a new venue on the back end in the actual venues panel. Right now, you'll notice I've set it to the default state as California and the default country as United States. Going in to create a new venue, as you would probably expect, United States and California are pre-selected. If all your events take place in the same location or at the same exact venue, you can have as much of this pre-populated so there's no real reason for anybody to have to think and add these fields or populate these fields themselves. You're taking care of it all for them. You're not making them think. It's important to note though, when I do go to create a new event and I select, I don't want to use this saved venue, I want to create my own new one, it's not going to pre-populate the country and the state with what you've selected there. Those fields are just for the venue creation page that we were just looking at. That's pretty much it in terms of how this actual page operates. Default content is really a one-trick pony. It allows you to have that pre-filled information. If you don't want it, just turn this off and you'll never have to visit this setting tab at all. Last one up is additional fields. This allows you to add additional custom metadata to any of your events that you're setting up on the site. If you've used 2.x, you're familiar with this. So again, I'm not going to go into it in much depth, except to point out a couple things. One is that in 3.0, we are adding the URL option, which allows you to actually input a URL without having to write any HTML or anything like that. The way these fields operate is they allow you to add this extra data that might provide context to your event. Let's say that you have a lot of parties and you want to have a DJ. You're going to have a DJ who shows up at all these parties and you want to make sure that you're giving prominence to the DJ name so that potential attendees can consider, oh, I want to go this week because it's this DJ, or I don't want to go this week because I saw that guy last week. Okay, you can set it up using these fields and it can look quite prominent to your front-end users. Let's check it out. Obviously, the first field label I'm going to have is just DJ because I want to be able to give the DJ's name. Field type can be text, that's fine because that just allows whoever's setting up the event to type the person's name in. Fine. We'll add another and we'll actually use the URL for this so that we can have the DJ's website. So that we can also have users, if they want to check out the DJ's website, they can click over a link to his page. I've got these two in place. I'm going to hit Save Changes. And now I'm going to set up my new event. I'm not going to go into much depth planning this out. But you'll notice when we get down below, we do now have these additional event fields. They fit in right here beneath the event URL above the event cost, and I can type in my DJ name and my website. When the event is published, and when I view it on the front end, you're going to see right up here along with the start time, end time, category, venue, etc., we have this other information, the additional attributes we added. And in fact, the DJ and the DJ's website both show up right there. The website is automatically a link for me, and so it really takes care of all the extra heavy lifting for me. This does give some prominence to this information though, and it means it's probably going to be read more likely than if it were down below in the description beneath. One other thing to note about the additional fields. Anybody who is setting up events can use these additional fields. It's not like it's limited or you can target it to specific segments. Anybody who comes in now and tries to set up a new event can use the DJ or DJ's website. The only way I can change that is by coming in and actually removing these so that they're not available for use at any point going forward. Those are the main ones in terms of function. Licenses is where you drop in your license keys. As you get additional add-ons and additional plugins in Modern Tribe stable, they'll all start to appear down the list here. Remember that you don't need the license to actually use the plugin, though. You just need it for accessing support and upgrades. So if you do end up wanting to use the plugin on a test environment, someplace local, just to see how it works, don't worry about plugging in a license key because it's not going to have any bearing whatsoever on the overall functionality. Lastly, the Help tab. Pretty much as you'd expect, just gives an overview of the help, your options in terms of documentation, support getting to the forums, etc., and also provides links to some of the additional add-ons that we've created, our .org page, things like that. This is more for you if you need a buddy, but it doesn't really have any impact on how the plugin behaves. I hope that helps. I realize it's a bit mundane walking through settings panels. I appreciate you sitting with me as we went through this. The good news is, starting with the next video, we're going to switch back and look at the front end again, probably at the filters panel. Check back later this week for that second video. Thanks a lot, guys.